Hello, welcome to the JV show. This is Jorge.
And this is Viv.
And this is Lynn Sanity.
Yeah, this week we got Lynn back
Yep,
from
I got my name
Vancouver.
right this time.
Why are you in Edmonton this week?
My good friend J-Ho got married yesterday.
Ooh.
So I think
I haven't seen him in a hot minute.
yeah, you guys know him, right?
Yeah.
He got married yesterday at the Shaw Commerce Center, Edmonton Convention Center, I think it's what it's called now.
Oh, you think he gets a discount?
He did, yeah, he did. That's why he kept working there for so long. To get a discount, and then he's gonna stop working there now because he
What's
got
the
married.
discount
Wait,
that
he
he
still
gets?
works. I thought he,
He still
I
works
thought he
there.
stopped working so long ago.
No, he works there like part time. Like he's on the roster, I think, but he doesn't
What
pick up
does that
that many
mean?
shifts. Like he's like casual. Like he'll just come in
Oh.
whenever, pick up some shifts,
So that he stays.
just so he
like,
stays, and then he's probably gonna stop now. But yeah, it was nice. We had a nice little buffet. It was nice seeing all these people I haven't seen in like 7 years, and everyone looks the same. Like time does not move forward, does not age anyone.
Wait, was it a premium buffet? Because it was him? Like compared to the normal events you guys cater?
I don't remember now. It's been so long since I worked there, so it's probably standard. And then there's salmon, which I've never seen salmon at Shaw before. But otherwise, it was really tasty. Like it tasted really good. There was a midnight snack of ramen and like sliders and tater tots. That was really good.
Like they just bowls and bowls of ramen?
It was like instant ramen, like from
like
Costco. They bought like a whatever.
bowl noodles?
Yeah, and then
What the heck?
and then there's like hot water station, and then we just all had ramen.
Oh,
and,
you were literally making your own.
yeah,
bowl of
ramen
noodles.
and sliders for midnight snack.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then they had mango wine. Was it the Costco mango wine they had?
Mama Mango?
It's like the black bottle with the orange label.
Mama Mango.
Yeah, that mango wine on the tables. Yeah, it was really good. And it was nice. The only thing is it was really smoky outside, so the backdrop was kind of shitty because it was like almost like it was like how a snowstorm looks. Like it was white and fuzzy. That's what it looked like outside. But yeah, like it was open windows, right? But then it was really smoky, so it's kind of shitty. But otherwise, it was nice. Yeah, great reason to come back. Always see everyone, and it's like the 4th wedding I've been to this year in Edmonton. Everyone decided to get married this year. It's costing me so much money to come here. And I got invited to another wedding at this wedding. They're like, "Oh my gosh, are you back here?" I'm like, "No, but I just came for the wedding." They're like, "Oh, you want to come to our wedding next month?" I'm like, "I guess." Sure. My friend Erica, she used to work at Shaw too. She's getting married next month. It's gonna be really small, she said, which makes me feel good because she wanted to invite me still. So
Is that Shaw?
no, it's not Shaw.
Oh,
That's
okay.
somewhere else. Yeah, that was nice. Good reason to come back. Yeah, it was good. It was really nostalgic. It made me feel like because I haven't lived here for 5 years and I haven't worked there for 7 years. So I've I left for 4 years. I left in 2019. It's 2023 today. So like almost 5 years, but I didn't see any of these people even before I moved. So it was nice to see all these people and kind of I just felt like I was 18 again working at Shaw, seeing all my friends, and it just like was crazy.
They
Yeah.
make you guys bust your own tables?
No, but it's funny you say that because there were people busting their own tables, not
Ah.
like carrying it to the back, but they were like stacking all the plates up properly and then like either putting it on the tray or like getting the server to come, "Oh, I stacked it for you," that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be that person because I'm like, oh, I feel like if that was me working, I wouldn't want them to like
Yeah.
put shit on my
I
tray
don't want to take
kinda
away
thing.
their job.
So I'm like, but other people were like doing that.
Imagine they swing by and they're just wondering, like, are we gonna get a tip or not this time?
Yeah, for real. And all the managers at Shaw were like attending too, and then it almost like I think it like feels bad because then all the people who didn't get invited are just working it, which kind of sucks. I feel like feels bad. Everyone got invited. Oh, but you have to work. Sorry.
Well, at least they still get to attend the wedding, even if they're working.
Yeah, but it's just I guess you get paid to attend, but it's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same,
Like
for
imagine
sure.
you thought you were good friends with them, and then you didn't get invited, and you had to serve all your friends. Like
I feel like isn't that
That
even
would
more
fucking
awkward?
suck.
Like,
You don't get invited, but you have to work their wedding.
yeah,
well, is it more awkward if you get invited but you're not even that close to them?
that's
like, I don't know
true.
what the fuck
I
I'm
don't know.
doing here.
Weird.
Would you go then?
Probably not, because you have to give money, right? Usually,
Oh,
so I usually
true.
give like pretty decent amount. And I'm like, I don't know, I don't even know these people,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
That's true.
Yeah, true. What you, Viv? What you get up to?
In the last while, I have not been really doing much of anything because I currently have a cast on my finger from the injury back in March to make my finger fully straight before it stays fucked for a long time. And so working out has been a pain in the ass because I can't use any straps because my straps,
Oh,
I tried it last week and it made my cast crack.
yeah. Oh god.
So I had to go back in and get it redone. And then so now I can't do anything that requires me to like actually lift anything. Like with or like grip anything with my hands and hold it like that. So I can't do any bent over rows, I can't do any deadlifts, I can't do any of that fucking shit. So it's quite upsetting actually. But actually, I haven't tried again, but I might try to attach a hook attachment to my wrist and not like grab it at all. You know, just let it like be secured by my wrist and don't hold it by my other fingers at all, and maybe my cast won't crack by then.
Role playing handicap.
Yeah, exactly. But aside from that, I've just been working out, walking Lumi, and that's all. There was a super moon.
I heard
This
about
month.
that. I always see those things on Instagram or Reddit or whatever, and then when the time actually comes at night, I forget about it until the next day when people post pictures. I'm oh shit, like I missed it.
You should put in your calendar.
Yeah,
Like I tried to go see Saturn too, because Saturn is really close to the Earth right now, and it's in opposition to the sun.
What
But-
does that mean for a Pisces?
Bro, I don't know. I don't care about this astrology shit. But apparently, the super moon is like really emotional for Sagittarius people and like Pisces, and yeah, I have no idea.
I have been feeling emotional lately. I am a Sagittarius.
Oh shit!
It explains everything. I
Your
have feelings.
something is in the microwave.
You're what? You're something's in the microwave.
It's like Venus in retrograde or some
Oh,
shit.
retrograde. I thought you said microwave.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's
yo,
a
your thing's
microwave.
cooking right now. It's cooking hard.
And this is the photo I took of the moon.
Oh wow, is that AI'd?
Okay,
Ooh.
technically, people think that it's half doctored by AI technology
Samsung?
for Samsung and iPhone, but what the AI is doing is it's not creating like fake craters and fake details on the moon for you. It's just making your phone take a shit ton of pictures and then it piles the pictures together to get the final picture. So it's not technically creating something that's not there. It's just taking a whole bunch of images so it can add more detail instead of
not-
just taking one image.
It's not enhancing anything.
Not like that. Not like what everyone thinks is happening when you say, "Oh, it's AI doctored." you
I
know?
think maybe they like went back and fixed it, because I think the original ones were AI doctored.
maybe.
No, because like they took a picture of the moon and then
Oh.
they filled in the craters.
Right. I
Yeah.
think I saw somebody do that with a light too, or a circle.
Yeah. Oh
And I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
sure
They
if
put
it-
some random like it kind of looked like the moon, and then the Samsung phone made it a moon.
Yeah, let's see if I can do this.
I
again.
mean, they could have fixed it. They could have fixed it and put it on the hush
That's
hush, you
true.
know, and
That
not really
is
say
true.
shit.
I mean, I'm trying to do this with your light right now, and it's not registering as moon. So
Yeah, my light's not fake.
thank God. But that's everything that's been going on with me.
Oh, nice.
Or today, I actually had a bit of an adventure. On my way here, there was this dog running around my neighborhood, and this lady was following the dog. And at first, I was thinking, like, dude, lady, control your fucking dog. It's literally like running back and forth between the fucking road and everything. Your dog's gonna get run over. And then when I stopped my car to let the lady fucking secure her dog, because the dog was in my cul-de-sac area, she pointed at me and she was like, "Is that your dog?" And I was like, "No, I thought that was your dog." And then the lady proceeded to tell me that she's been chasing this dog around the neighborhood for the last half an hour, and she can't grab the dog and she can't seem to find who the dog belongs to. And so I thought I would help her. And when I finally got the dog, I think maybe because I have a dog, so I was able to, like, I don't know, dog whisper for this dog to come over to me. When I grabbed the dog, this lady was like, so do you know what we do now?" And I was like, I think we should bring the dog to the vet to see if there's a microchip in it. And then she's like, "Okay, could you do that?"
You just aided a lady in kidnapping a dog. You dog napped a dog
Probably.
for a lady This is probably okay. This is probably her like high school
scheme.
bully's dog, and she like lured the dog out, and then was hoping someone else could steal it for her.
She didn't want to commit to her crime.
This dog peed on my floor already.
Just now?
Yeah, I had to clean it up.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Motherfucker.
But yeah, anyway, so I took this dog to a few vets, and unfortunately, it's a long weekend today, so a lot of clinics are closed. So I brought it to the hospital, and they scanned the back of the dog, and these parents are fucking stupid. So you get your dog a microchip so that when your dog's lost in these instances, then your contact information is there, attached to your fucking dog. But these owners privatized their information, and so the only information I could get out of the microchip was the name of the dog and what vet he goes to.
Wait, it's a he or she?
Oh, sorry, she. Her name is Cece.
Sure,
And then, so the nurse that helped me was like, all right, so you have two options. You can bring this dog to the pound right now and let them deal with it. Or you could keep this dog overnight and then bring this dog to its vet or call their vet the next morning to see if you can get the owner's information. And I'm like I would hate it if I lost my dog and someone brought my dog to the pound, because I feel like the pound is like the homeless shelter but for dogs. No offense. And I'm like, that must be such a scary place.
Maybe she's got to grow up fast, you know. What are you gonna feed it? What if she's allergic to shit?
I have no fucking idea, man. So
Put her brought to the barbecue house.
what I did was that I called my sister, because I'm not home right now. I'm obviously here at the podcast. I called my sister and asked her to put up signs around the neighborhood that I found a dog named Cece and to call me.
Okay, I think that's a little too much now.
Why?
I feel like you should be the opposite. Like the owner should put up signs and you should go and call that number.
I told Viv to wait until someone puts a reward poster up and then tell them you found it. Then you get $50 out of it.
I would just wait till tomorrow and just fucking bring it to the vet, drop it off.
I really don't want to keep this dog overnight, if I'm being honest.
Oh, well.
Pound City we go.
Just leave it where you found it, I guess.
Just go back home and put it on the street and walk away.
Walk away. If someone tries catching you, like, is that your dog? Like, nope, I can confirm. Bring it to the vet. I'll tell you.
Bring it. It's fine.
For sure.
But yeah, so I have somebody's dog right now, and I'll see what I do with it later.
I think it's a puppy, too. It's kind of stupid.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb. It doesn't know any tricks or how to like behave or anything.
Yeah, she's very scared of all the other dogs.
Yeah, how's your week been, Jorge?
It's been pretty...
So you injured your wrist?
Yeah, I injured my wrist at climbing. It was pretty sad. I was like doing a start move, and then this is like I think my 5th time doing that climb. And then I heard a pop, and then it just hurt after. But then I went to the doctor. He said it doesn't think it's a tear or anything because it's not swollen or anything like that. So he just said rest it for a week and then just start doing some like wrist physio stuff. You can just search up like YouTube videos and stuff. I was like, sure.
Actually, I'm playing with this dog right now, and I think it's probably like at least 1 or 2 years old.
Oh, why?
Because it doesn't have baby teeth.
Oh, okay. Damn. Well, it's a stupid dog for being 1 year old.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, I injured my wrist. I'm pretty sad about it, but I don't know. I just feel like less sad about it. I feel like I used to be so frustrated whenever I get injured, but nowadays it's just, I don't know. It's like, what could I have done differently? And that's just like almost nothing. Because like I wanted to try that climb anyways. I was going to do max effort anyway. So it's just bad luck, bad maybe training. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, and then I went to my friend's wedding. Actually, all of Saturday, I met so many old friends. So as what Lynn was talking about. And these are crazy because these are friends from like all over the world that finally came back. And I'm pretty excited because I think some of them are going to come on the podcast. So it's very exciting. They have very cool stories.
You're
so one
advertising the podcast while you're there.
Yeah, well, because I want to talk to them more about it. And I was like, yo, you want to come on the podcast? So one of them was from Australia, or just came back from Australia. She just lived there for like 4 years. It's a high school friend, and we like chatted a bit, and she's like, yeah, she's down to come talk to me. She's actually a recruiter, so she's like, I think we're going to talk maybe even further beyond the podcast, because I'm going to talk to her how to like set up to work somewhere else, and she's going to help me with that. And then my other friend, she actually did like a whole Africa trip and stuff.
Wow.
So that's very exciting. She's trying to convince me to go. I'm like, I'll see. But yeah, so that's very exciting. So yeah, no, it's nice. Some of them I met them again at my friend's wedding, and that was a really fun wedding. It was one of my good friends, Stove. Congratulations to him and his wife.
So exciting. How does it feel to see some of your like close friends get married like that?
Yeah, it's cool because it's like in the last 2 years I've seen a bunch, and then also during that wedding, you know, you get that feeling. It's like, oh, all your friends are starting to get married and shit, and you're like,
Yeah.
motherfucker, like what do I do now? But then at the same time, I saw so many people at the wedding that are like more similar to me, where it's like I don't want to get married till a lot later. I don't want kids anytime soon. I want to like, you know, see the world a bit more. So I was like, oh, it's reassuring that the other 10% of the world is still there, kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm the same way, especially with all of our friends getting married this year that we've been to. It's kind of confirmed for me that I definitely don't want any of that for like the next 5+ to infinity years.
Do you think the whole motherly instinct thing is gonna like make you want something?
I don't know. I definitely don't have that right now. I don't want a dog. I don't want nothing. I want just to like go to work, play volleyball, play games, see my friends, make my food, go to sleep. And I'm happily content with that life at this moment. So
What do you think that is? That motherly instinct? It's primal, right?
yeah,
It
for
has
sure.
to be something in the genetics.
Yeah, I think I definitely, not to say I don't have it, like I'll take care. I'll like I feel happy when I see people's kids or like Viv's
Really?
dog and stuff like
Oh,
that.
okay.
But then it's like, do I want my own? Do I want to take one home with me and have it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I feel like kids are
Wait, like Julia and Dave, for example. Ethan
Yeah.
is like the cutest baby.
no, I don't.
Okay, relax. Ethan's like so cute. Like I see them and I'm happy for them. I would happily babysit if they needed. I would be their last choice probably, but if they needed someone, I would. But do I want to have my own and take it home with me? Absolutely not. I would not like give it back to the parents after I'm done, and then I go sleep in my apartment by myself.
Oh, nice. What a lovely life.
Sounds like such a nice life, honestly.
Yeah, what a nice.
Great.
I feel like they're not even at the fun age yet, too. Like both my nieces are like, one of them's 1 and one of them's not even 1 yet, and I feel like they don't get fun until they're like 3 or 4, right?
I think so
Because
too.
right now they're just like
Yeah, that's
eating
also-
and puking or burping and stuff, and it's just kind of gross for me.
Yeah, but that's also when they're not whiny, they're not demanding, they're not gonna throw tantrums in the store. They don't know what stuff is yet. They don't know
Yeah,
what money
but-
is yet, right?
But it's like if that was your kid, then yes, that's like hard. But if it's not your kid, then it's kind of like, well, I don't know. It's just like kind of like, okay, well, not really my problem. It's only my problem for like 2 hours of the week.
So are you the kind of uncle that like buys your nieces ice cream, like hype them up, and then bring it back home like here you go, and then they'll like hype you
Uh,
with sugar?
I mean, they're not old enough yet, so
Oh.
I can't even do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think I'd be the type to spoil them a bit more, especially now that I've like,
Fuck you, money.
no, fuck you, man. Shut the fuck up. I wish I had fuck you. I just have more disposable income and just
Mhm.
whatever I can just spend on them. I'm more willing to spend it on them.
How much money is fuck you money in your opinion?
I don't know. Doesn't that depend on who you are?
Like who you're saying fuck you to?
No, like who you are as a person. Like,
Okay.
okay, so if you're a homeless person that doesn't give a shit about anything, then fuck you money isn't that much money.
Okay. Okay.
But if you're like a famous actor or a president or someone like more higher in the social ladder, then fuck you money means a lot more because
That's
saying
true.
fuck you to someone that actually like you can say fuck you to someone that doesn't matter to you, but then that the fuck you part doesn't even matter either, right?
That's true.
So like if you don't care about anything, then the amount of fuck you money is pretty low, right? Like I assume
How much money would be fuck you money to you?
to me, oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. I have to think about it. I feel like the more money you get, the more that amount increases.
I agree.
So then it's like kind of cascading
What
upwards.
what would be considered fuck you money when you like
Okay, in today's world right now,
what would be a scenario
Okay,
for
let's see.
fuck you money? Like
let me see. So I think you can calculate this. So okay, how much money do you think you can spend a year very comfortably?
very comfortably?
Yeah.
Like what do you mean by spending? Like what like including my basic needs and
Yeah.
bills and stuff
Yeah.
like that?
Like how much money in a year, in a calendar year, 12 months, would you spend? Like if you were to retire right now, how much money do you need every 12 months?
Every 12 month comfortably?
Yeah.
I would say like my wage now.
Okay, well,
Okay. So
Whatever
it's-
that number is times the amount of year you're gonna live,
Oh,
right, and all
okay.
that shit, and then that'll be kind of, and then plus inflation, that'll be your fuck you money, right?
Okay, so put like 90K.
Right. And then how long you think you're gonna live for? I guess. I guess that's kind of tough. Okay, no, actually, we don't have to do it this way. So if you want 90K and say some investment can guarantee you like 3% annually, right? So then you just divide by 3%. Nah. Yeah, I guess that's about right.
3 million for fuck you
But
money.
then that doesn't include inflation.
That is true. So
Right.
put another million there.
I mean, so then you have to increase a bit more and shit like that.
Jesus
I mean, I
Christ.
think 10 to 20 million is pretty comfortable for most people to say that's fuck you money, right?
I would say so.
Because then at that point, you can just, you know,
Literally say fuck you, I'll do whatever I want.
yeah,
I
pretty
see.
much.
I see. That's
But
not
yeah,
bad.
it like depends, right? Like if you're the type who's super like stoic and to yourself and you just want to read books all day and live in the woods or something like that, like I assume your fuck you money is like pretty low, right?
That's true.
Because that amount you have, someone's be like, "Oh, can you do this job for me?" And you're like, "No, fuck you. Like I just want to live this life."
Mm.
And then they'll just do that, right? I assume that's how.
And you wouldn't have the need to ask for anything per se.
Yeah.
Because for any instance, you can just say fuck you.
Yeah, pretty much.
You see?
You just expose your salary.
That's fine. I don't care.
Okay, cool. So this week we're gonna talk about something interesting. Lynn really want to talk about this. She want to talk about time.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess she had she's not even here right now. She's on the fucking phone. If we had video, you guys can see. But yeah, she had to pick up a phone call. But I guess she had an epiphany saying like, you know, time's so weird because she saw all her old friends or that nostalgia she gets, and you know, I guess she's starting to feel old.
Mm-hmm.
But that's weird too because how does that feeling old kind of come to be? Like for me, I don't necessarily feel old,
Mm-hmm.
but I just feel like I'm more mature, more knowledgeable.
Yeah.
But that's also with the information that I want to live forever too. So I feel like that number doesn't matter because it's gonna go on for a long time.
There's no sense of old if you live forever
Yeah,
in that
exactly.
case, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting. I feel there are days when I do feel like, hey, I am kind of getting old now. And I know that when I turn 40, I'm going to think that 30 isn't old.
Mm.
Like how when you're freaking 18, you think 30 is old, or you think like 25 is old or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, but nowadays I feel like I can feel parts of me that feel like I'm less of an adolescent or I have less childish qualities, and I feel tired more often. I don't want to do things as much, like be out as often. I want to like go home earlier. Like I realized in the last couple of weeks I went home at like 3 a.m. on Saturday because I was playing board games, and I was like, fuck, this is so fucking late. Oh my god, I'm screwed for tomorrow. I need my sleep. But I remember usually when it would be 3 a.m. I'd be like, I'm not going to sleep
You're alive.
anytime soon, so like that's fine, and I'd be alive. Or like 2 weeks prior to that, I went home around like 1:30 a.m. and I was like, Jesus Christ, this is way too late. And I would not normally have this opinion before, but now I'm like, oh, I need to go to bed. I have these other things
it's
to do.
funny 'cause
just adulting, you know.
The first time I felt that recently, or like the first time I remember feeling that is at Gareth Emery, when the rave ended at like midnight and we all got kicked out at midnight, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I don't have to stay up to 3 a.m. partying. I like the set is done at midnight and I can just go home, and it was fucking amazing. Like I still want to party, but not until 3 a.m. Like I
I
want to
agree.
get my raving and then I go home.
I agree.
midnight.
I like it.
Well, I mean, why don't people hang out earlier then? That's what I always wondered.
No, nighttime is the prime time to do dumb shit, I guess, when you're younger.
I mean, but like, I feel like I don't know. I super value sleep, so I always want to go home early and shit and go to sleep. I'm like the one that usually leaves first whenever we hang out. 'Cause I'm like, it's time to hit the old dusty so I can go home and sleep.
I agree. I can
But-
see the life now.
But I don't know. I also feel like it's like it's almost like the definition of living has kind of changed too. Like back then when we thought 50 was old, but that kind of changed too. But then the quality of life and the standard of living of everyone kind of also improved too, right? So it's like however you can live can actually last a lot longer. So like I always pose the question, where you know how currently our retirement age is 65.
Yeah.
I was like, is that even like reasonable anymore? Because I think we talked about this once with our group of friends. And I was saying like, if the assumption is you die at age X and you retire at age X minus Y, right? Wouldn't that mean if we live longer, like say an extra 20 years now, wouldn't you want to retire later also?
I mean, yes, but I feel like my opinion is also very different on retirement, and I think it
Yeah, no,
is a
that
similar.
that aside, because like
Mhm.
because it's a set age. It's
Mhm.
it's a nationwide set age.
for
So
when you should probably stop working. type of
yeah,
thing.
yeah. But I was like, if people are living longer, and I think they are. I don't know how the mortality average is for age, but if that's the case, then I guess shouldn't that number kind of increase too?
But just because you're living longer doesn't mean you're still mobile and agile and you're able to do that same job and sit in that same desk until you're, let's say you move it up to 75. Not many 75-year-olds may be able to do the same job as they did when they were.
That's what you think X amount of years ago, though. Right? Like, don't you think people are like living longer? Like 50 is a new 40, 40 is a new 30,
Yeah.
stuff like that, right? So it just feels like everyone
That's true.
at an older age is not as feeble as 10 years ago. Like if 10 years ago I was going to say, oh, my dad's 70, you're like, oh, he must be like kind of old, right? But
Mhm.
now if I say 70, he's like, oh, he must be enjoying retirement now and like going on
That is
going on
true.
vacations and doing all these things, right? I
The
feel like that
idea is
meant
quite different.
yeah. I feel like when they set that age, whatever time, like I don't know how long ago they set that age, they must have had the mentality that, 65 is pretty old, they're pretty feeble now, right? They can't really do much. So that's why they set that number. I don't know, I was just always curious about that. Like I'm also in the mentality like I don't really care for retiring at all. Like I've told many, like my mentality is always like I want to work forever kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I want to work forever, but I don't want to be a slave forever, if that makes sense. Like, I would want to, at some point, have my own business and work on it because I enjoy it and not because I actually need the money.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it sucked to like still stress about that money part at that age, but it's life, I guess.
Yeah.
But in this economy, there's no way, like, you're able to retire at some jobs, I guess. Like, I don't know how but the pension stuff works here, but is it livable even anymore? I don't know.
I think so. I don't know. Like my parents are. My mom's about to retire. My dad's already retired.
I think it depends on how much you get paid, really, at the end of the day.
Well, no, it depends on how much you spend. I mean, it's all like how much you spend, how much you live off of, how much you've saved, all that shit, right? If you saved a sizable amount of money, it goes back to our calculation, right? If you saved $3 million over the course of your career, and you only need realistically $90,000 a year,
Yeah.
then you're kind of good for a while, minus inflation. But I'm sure they can figure that stuff out.
Yeah.
Right. So it kind of depends on that. But yeah, I don't know. Like time's interesting, but I do feel like everyone is not expecting that we're gonna be more viable a lot older, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Because it doesn't like I don't know. I feel like a lot of people doubt it too, right? They're like, oh no, when I get older, or like at a certain age they're just gonna decline. But I feel like no, this is something you can actually like avoid. It's actually possible, and I feel like a lot of, especially the rich people, are for sure doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of
For
the rich
sure.
people are a lot older, and they're still doing very well.
Adenosine shots.
Yeah, I like all I can think of is all the rich actor or like all the older actors.
Yeah.
Like they're
right.
still doing fine, and they're like when you say their age, you're like, what the fuck, they're old as shit.
Yeah, but they're also famous. You can't put famous people with regular people.
No. But what I'm saying is, it's possible for you to live longer and live a more like actual life at an older age.
I don't agree with that because if you're mega rich, you can pay for stuff that a normal person.
But that's what I'm saying. Like it's possible.
Oh, possible,
I'm
yes,
not
yes,
saying
yes.
I'm not saying it's feasible, but I'm
Yes,
saying it's
yes.
actually possible for people, right? And whatever they're paying for, like 5 years ago, 5 years later, it's gonna be accessible to the public or more accessible and feasible for the public.
That's
right?
true.
I don't know. That's why I'm a big proponent of living forever, guys. You don't think about it, but if it grows like it is growing now, I feel like that age is gonna just curve upwards dramatically, minus any like random stuff that kills you.
Yeah, I definitely think with technology and the advancement of medicine, that's a lot more easier for everyone to reach that age and actually be more able-bodied than not.
It's even some very simple things too. It's not even like the crazy technology. So it's like if you, I think I heard this on a podcast. If you were to go back in time right now, what could you actually fix? Like what could you actually do? And like,
Bring a Tylenol pill and you're gonna solve the.
so for the most part, you can't, at least in the medical field. But the one thing they were talking about is like the one thing you can do that can actually save like fuck ton of lives is just washing your hands. Like if you went back in
Right.
time and just taught people how to wash their hands in the medical field, that'll like save a lot of lives.
Right.
So I feel like it's like a compound thing. It's like the simple things kind of add up, and then it can like expand your life quite a bit.
I think so.
Anyways, where are we going with this, Lynn? Time. You were saying you were feeling the feeling old and nostalgia and shit like that.
Well, it's just because I've been to like this wedding yesterday, and I was thinking how almost feels like time has not passed between seeing any of these people, even though it's been like 7 years. It feels like we were talking like it was just like as if it was yesterday, and I find that that's so fascinating. I think maybe it has more to do with like your human connection and your closeness you feel with your friends, but I just find it crazy that it's been 5, 6, 7 years since I've seen these people and no time has passed. But in that time, everyone has done all these things, and everyone has advanced in their lifetime and stuff like that. But it's just we were like went back in time just for that one night to hang out with each other, and I thought like that was crazy. Like I'm wondering if you guys have felt that same thing with just life, like going forward. Like yeah, like we're getting older, we're time's going by, like it's already September 2023. Like it feels like just yesterday was New Year's. Like where does the time go? I feel like maybe it's like a aging thing. Like I feel like time is slipping me by. Like I have already done all the stuff that I want to do before I'm 30, 40, 50, right? I don't know. Thoughts?
Isn't it like a relativity thing? Like not the physics relativity, but like if you're 1 year old, 6 months was half your life, right? But if you're 20 years old, 10 years is now half your life. So therefore, like your understanding of time is changing as you get older. No.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the acceleration of time, that's just like things that happen, right? Like,
just makes me like kind of sad. I don't know about you guys. Like, if I could go back, like if you go back in time to an era of your life, like what would it be?
a time in my life,
Yeah.
but I'm like that age.
Like yeah.
I love my life, so I still want to stick around right now.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I don't think I would go back at all.
Like,
Like
you
I'm
think-
quite fucking happy now.
Like
Yeah.
life is better now than it was before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
You don't have any regrets. Any regrets you would go back and fix.
I think we all do, right? Like we
Yeah.
all like, oh fuck, I should like invest in Apple. What the fuck? Right?
Amazon, dude.
Bitcoin during November.
I should have fucking
whatever.
knew. I should have knew Tesla was gonna blow up. God damn it! Or I should have bought one Bitcoin way back
Yeah.
when for like $20. But aside from that, not really. I don't know. I feel like we're the accumulation of all our mistakes and our successes.
Yeah, honestly,
Like I feel
me
like I wouldn't
too.
be who I am. Like as much as I wouldn't say I hate life, but I feel like I'm struggling right now. But I feel like if you ask me, I would say something similar maybe a couple years ago or something like that. Like you always hit patches where you're like, oh, I gotta figure something out. But like what you struggle at might be different all the time, right? Like at one point in my life, I was struggling with relationships, right? And that's not a problem right now. And then at one point in my life, I may have been struggling with like right now I'm struggling with like how to figure out what I want to do with my career, right? But that's not like I have leukemia or some shit like that, right? It's way different of a struggle, and it's just different at every time point of your life.
I agree.
So I wouldn't like want to trade
Mm-hmm.
my current position to go back to any one
Mhm.
time period, because I feel like I don't know, like all the mistakes I made, all the injuries I've accumulated throughout my time, it's necessary for me to become who I am, right? But
think- Yeah, I think the exact same way. Like obviously there's points in your life where you feel like, oh, that actually like hurt a lot, or that was really a shit ass experience that I probably should never have gone through. But in overall, everything is an accumulation of lessons and growth for myself, and I wouldn't be who I am today, which I'm quite happy as, if I didn't go through everything that I went through. So I would not change literally anything. I don't think there's a point in time that I would specifically go back to, aside from like experiencing random things just to experience it a second time, but not to like redo anything. Like an example would be going back to when I was a kid and hang out in Vancouver and playing on the farm and being able to do like spend literally all summer there. But aside from that, like little memories like that, I feel like I wouldn't really go back.
I mean, if I got convicted of a crime,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
definitely want to. Maybe.
If my life forward was fucked, I
Yeah.
would definitely go back.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy because like I feel like maybe the three of us aren't the best to talk about this, but like, what if you're the person who like got into a car accident because you were on your phone because you picked up a phone call that someone random called you and then it ended someone else's life, right? Then you'd have like immortal regret forever,
Yes.
right? That's kind of different. I feel like I don't really have that. Like there's nothing that dire that ever happened to my life like that, right? Like it wasn't like, oh fuck, like if I didn't flush my toilet, this wouldn't happen. My grandpa wouldn't have got cancer. It would have been great. But like, no, that's not. There's no immediate effect, right? It's all proxy. So I don't know. I feel like like, do you have like some stuff that you would want?
I would think about. I regret not doing things earlier. Like, 'cause there's a lot of things that I don't. Like I think back, I'm like, why did I do this? Why did I start doing this now and not like 2 years ago? Kind of thing. Like, I feel with volleyball is a big one. I'm like, why didn't I start training, actually practicing like 2, 4, 3, 5 years ago and not last year? I would have been better now. Or like I should have joined the club volleyball team in high school because I
That
would have
sounds-
been better now.
Dumb, to be honest.
Why is that?
I just feel like it's just like something that doesn't matter that much, right? It's like, Lynn, you're never gonna become a fucking
No, but I could've been better.
Canadian League libero.
No, but I could have been if I started in
think
high
so,
school.
brother.
Can you be a little nicer?
Holy shit.
She
No.
says her opinion. Like, that sounds fucking retarded.
No, okay. If she said if I went back in time and I went to like engineering school instead, then I'd be, oh wow, that's very impactful to your current life. But you're like, oh, I wish I trained volleyball 2 years earlier. I was like, to do what? Like to be better? I was like, oh great, you want to show off to all your friends how great you are at volleyball?
Yeah.
I mean, of all the examples, I felt like that was the least impactful one.
Your passion for volleyball is not the same as hers,
Yeah,
okay?
you
But
fucking
I
bitch.
feel like even if your passion was that like crazy, it's like non-impactful to your life that as significant. It's like a minor impact to your life.
Is it like the skill set that you could have learned if you started practicing volleyball more intensely 2
Mhm.
years ago? You could still learn them. Is that what you're saying? That you don't
Well-
need to go back in time for them?
Okay, it goes back to like, is it beating everyone that makes you so happy at volleyball, or is playing volleyball makes you happy?
Playing volleyball.
Yeah,
and
so
being
then-
overall well skilled.
So then going 2 years earlier wouldn't stop you from playing volleyball now. It's like a very like minute impact thing is how I
True.
feel. I mean, like we could all come up with the same examples. Like I bet Viv wish she trained it 2 years earlier. I wish I like worked out 2 years earlier than whenever I started, right? Like,
Mhm.
but it feels like at the end of the day, it's not really impactful.
Mhm.
Like it still
Yeah.
gets me to where I am right now. Like it's kind of like the 80-20 rule. It's like that's the 20% that doesn't matter. You gotta think about the overall 80%. Okay, I'm sorry for being rude. I thought you were gonna say I thought you were gonna say something like, "Oh, I wish I moved to Australia to work instead of Vancouver."
I was getting to that part. I was starting
Oh, okay,
small.
okay.
A
I
small
see.
example with volleyball, for example.
I see.
Something
Sorry, that
I
was just
would think.
that was just
Or he's a hater. That's all I can say.
So
To
fucking
nobody's
rude.
surprise, listeners.
it's just like
You can hear people just laughing away at their cars.
Lynn. Okay, to me, what you said was kind of like me saying, "I wish I like started meal planning 2 years earlier," and it's like, oh, it's not really impactful. Like I would have got to the same result anyways, kind of thing.
Mhm.
But okay, you were gonna go to the same thing, so you're saying like you wish you were to like live somewhere else, because like I wish for that every single day of my life right now.
Yeah, sometimes I would say maybe instead of Vancouver, I could have picked somewhere more ambitious, like Europe, or because I have friends who like moved to Europe, like Italy, for like a year or two, just like after university, and that was like a crazy experience. Like,
Yeah,
or stuff that you can only do when you're younger, almost like if you're. I mean, it's never too late. Actually, I guess our friends are going to Japan this month, right?
yeah.
Did she leave already?
No, but that's wild. Yeah, what she? So
Yeah,
we have
like
a,
stuff
we have
like
a
that.
friend who's leaving for Japan for X amount of months. I don't know.
Yeah, stuff like
Oh my
that.
god. For a second there, I was going to be like, the fuck? Who? But okay, hang on.
But it's never too late, honestly. I tell people, and that I guess that ties in with the time thing, is there's never it's never too late to do something you want to do. Look at our friend, for example. She wanted to do this for like the longest time, and then now finally she is doing it, and I'm so proud of her when she told me that she's doing that.
Yeah.
Like, it's like amazing. And I always tell people it's never too late. Like, I had a friend yesterday that I met, or that I saw after a while, and before I left, I know she was trying to pursue like hair and makeup industry, but then she said no, like I didn't end up going to school for it. I was too scared of failure, and I was too scared of like me not being good at it, blah blah. And I was like, dude, it's never too late. Like, you can always, if you, as long as you try, honestly, it's better than not knowing if or you're gonna fail or not, right? So I was like, dude, age is just a number. You can do whatever the fuck you want, dude. Like, time is money. Time, you'll never get a time back, right? You might pay for it and then fail, but the time that you spend is like always worth it, right? Like, you're not gonna have that much, you're gonna do it when you're 80, you might as well do it now. You don't want to regret that later on in the road, right?
I agree. Like, for these things, if you're not sure what you want to do for the rest of your life, just pick a direction and run with it. And then if that doesn't work out, then at least you know that direction is not an option.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could go back and have that mentality of doing that too, of like going somewhere else to work while I was younger. But I mean, yes and no. I feel like if I just graduated and tried to work somewhere else right away, I wouldn't have the relationships I have right now. Like, as in, I wouldn't have gotten so close to Viv. I wouldn't have been with my girlfriend still, Joyce, right now. Like, at least now, like, now it's tougher. It's like even worse, but at least I can figure it out, and at least I have something to hold on to still, if that makes sense. Right? Like, I've actually thought of this very deeply. I was like, hey, I actually want to think about moving somewhere very far and seeing how it goes. And I want her there with me, right? It's like my one friend who I kind of reconnected with over the weekend. She was saying like, yeah, she wants to, like, she's traveled the world a lot and done a lot of things, but she's like, man, it kind of sucks. I'm like, I'm 30 now, and I've got to think about like relationships and stuff too, because like it starts to matter a bit more when you get older too, right? Like, I'm not saying my golden years are past or anything like that, but like I enjoyed my time with Joyce, and I want to continue enjoying that. And it's like, I don't want to like just throw it all away just because I have this ambition to go somewhere else. I have to try to make it work. Right.
You see what's kind of like more valuable for you and how to balance all these things, right?
Yeah. Like, I feel like if it's worth it, we can figure out how to make it work, kind of thing.
You guys often go down what they call memory lane, and you think about the stuff that happened in the past, either happy or sad, and you just kind of like think. Sometimes I think like, where do our memories go? Like, it's only in your head. If you forget about it, it's like gone forever. Isn't that crazy?
The fuck you want me to say that? Of course.
Well, like,
of course, that's fucking wild, Noel.
You think it's in our soul?
I don't know, man.
You think if I forget how to do a dip or something, I go up to a bar and all of a sudden my muscles just remember how to do this shit. I just start doing dips and stuff.
Yeah, but you guys are like around memory lane. Do you have like, significant memories, or do things often trigger your memories? Like, sometimes I'll see like a restaurant that I've been to, or actually me and Viv had this like bonding moment at the McDonald's on the south side. And honestly, every time I go there, I think about it, and it triggers me, and I think about that time that happened.
Me too.
That shit's...
Is it like a happy incident or
no?
Happy
and happy and sad, I guess.
Okay, so two things to that. I used to go down memory lane way too often. I always think about the good old days, the good old days, guys, the good old days. But nowadays, no, I actually look forward a lot more than backwards. Like, I'm like thinking about like, okay, what I want to do next, way more than I do like looking back at what have I done. And then what's the crazy thing? I think, how some people are like, oh yeah, you're gonna remember the happiest moments because they mean so much to you and shit like that. Dude, I remember the shit moments so well.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
for sure.
Like, so much more than the happy. If you tell me less happy moments, I could like try to like reach deep and like make up some shit too, and like try to find those ones and maybe exaggerate some shit. But if you tell me the shit moments, oh dude, I could like spit it out so fast.
Oh yeah.
Right. I don't know what's that. I feel like maybe our brain is naturally pessimistic, but like our like heart or soul or whatever that might be is like optimistic. Like, it's like the balance between the two.
I like to think that I thought about this before, because I feel like I used to complain a lot about all these like negative experiences, and I feel like it's because when something good happens, all you can say really is like, wow, that was great, amazing, nice, wonderful. But when something bad happens, you have like 50 more lines of things to say, like, holy fuck, guess what happened? Like, this happened, this happened, I can't believe this happened. You have so much more opinion put into it. Versus if something just went really well, then all you can say is, damn,
That's true.
that's nice.
That's true.
And so I think that's why it has more of an impact on you. And yeah, I feel like for me personally, I used to also be that way, where I would be able to remember a negative moment a lot more easily than any positive moments. But I feel like I've been retraining my brain to pick up and remember positive moments more often than negative moments now.
Oh no, like sometimes I'm driving and I just cringe at myself for something I did like like last year or some shit.
Like, what's something you would cringe at yourself about?
I don't know, like if I did something stupid when I was driving, or if I like said something stupid to someone, not okay, when I say stupid things to people, I actually don't care. But if it's something like very cringe, then it's stuck in my brain fucking forever. It's like always there, and randomly it'll just pop up. I'll be like, oh fuck, I shouldn't have done that, right? I was like, oh fuck, I shouldn't have like farted at that time or something like that. You know, like those things will always kind of pop up and stuff. But
Right.
the happy moment, like I still remember them, but I feel like it's like an active memory. Like if I want to think about it, then I'll like start picking those out and stuff.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, I don't know. I actually don't know why it's like that. I'm sure there's some psychology to that. Like it must be the bad moments are what helps you survive.
I agree.
Like
I
the
think
good
so.
moments don't help you survive, but knowing the feeling of like starvation or like threat or something, like you need to always remember that to like always avoid that in the future, right? I mean, I feel like it always goes back to primal and stuff. But yeah.
I agree.
I find that interesting about when you say you're driving, because that's usually when my memories hit me too, where I'll be like, oh my god, I can't believe that person said that the other day, or I said that the other day. Well, usually when I'm driving long distances, I go through like the Rolodex in my brain of all this shit that's archived, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe that shit actually fucking happened. Or like stuff in the moment that I thought was fine, and I think
Yeah.
back to it, I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I like wore that shirt. I can't believe I said that.
But it's like okay, I'm not sure if it's for you guys, but for me, I only remember my own cringe moments. Like if there's cringe moments of other people, I forget it so fast. But if it's about me, it's like stuck there forever.
Oh yeah.
And then I
remember shit.
assume, like at the moment I remember, I assume everyone also remembers it. So I was like, it's like super cringe for me.
Have you ever thought that if you don't remember anyone else's, then it's most likely that no one else remembers yours?
Well, yeah, like I did think about that, but it doesn't stop me from like cringing at myself. Like, oh,
yeah,
why did I do
think
that? Right?
too. It's like the spotlight effect, right?
Yeah. So I mean, that happens to me all the time, and it just feels weird, you know, like, driving down and do you guys do weird shit in your car? When
All
you're
the
driving?
time.
Like, what do you weird shit?
So,
Oh.
so like, okay,
Yeah, what do you mean by weird shit?
so
That's a good question.
okay, this is one I'll for sure admit. When I'm driving down, like to work or something like that. So recently I've been trying to like roll my R's, and they're like stuff you can practice. So I'll just be like screaming in my car, trying to roll my R's and stuff. Right? Like there's like certain practice where you do with your tongue to try to get your R's. Like exercise you can do prior to actually rolling your R's to like practice to roll your R's, right? So like if my window was down, or if you looked like across from me while I was driving, you'd see me like just scream random shit at myself in the car. Because I'm trying to practice how to roll my
Can
R's.
you give us an example?
Well, I mean, you just have to practice the tongue, right? Right? The vibration of the tongue. So like while I'm just sitting there, I just be doing it the whole time.
Like,
Yeah. And then I just exactly. That's exactly it. And then sometimes I'll be like, I don't know, sometimes I just talk to myself like out loud in the car too. I don't know if you guys do that.
Definitely not.
what do you say to
What
yourself?
kind of thoughts you have there talking to yourself?
I don't know. Sometimes it's like punchlines. Sometimes it's
You make
like
your own joke and Alvin's laugh.
it's not my own jokes, but like, okay, you guys ever remember that? Fuck, I actually forgot. Just like there's like certain jingles from TV and stuff that suddenly pops in your head, and I just like sing it.
1-800 Canada.
What?
Is it 1-800 Canada?
No, it's the fucking no. That's Sleep
Why
Country.
buy a oh,
Sleep Country, Canada. Why buy a mattress
Mattress
anywhere else?
what was the 1-800 one? Alarm Force.
Oh yeah, I used to remember that number because the fucking jingle was so good,
Yeah.
right? But like randomly, I'd be driving, and then I just like it just pops up in my head, and I'm just like audibly singing it. Cause like I don't drive with a lot of people. Like I usually only drive Joyce around and stuff.
So did you do that with Joyce in the car too?
No,
Talking
I
about
talk to her about random shit. I always like to talk about controversial shit to her.
Mm.
Like it's kind of mean sometimes because like I'm kind of poking and prodding it because I know she disagrees with me on it. So sometimes I want to like talk to her about it, right? Or sometimes I'm not sure, but I know it's controversial, so I'm trying to like get her opinion on it too, right? Like, and it's every controversial shit, like climate change, women's right, trans, all this shit. I love to like dive deep on that shit with her because like I know she doesn't agree with me, but like I'm curious too. I'm curious because she doesn't agree with me. I was like, I wonder what she'll say. But sometimes I'm like a very persuasive, not persuasive, but like I have a very strong opinions and attitudes. So then who are more passive aren't willing to like speak back to me, if that makes sense.
Mm.
So then yeah, sometimes I feel bad that I do that to her. But it's because I like value her opinion is why I want to actually talk to her about it. Right? Like if it was just Joe Schmo, I'd be like, I don't care what you think about trans rights or anything like that. Like I don't give a fuck, right?
Mm.
But yeah, sometimes I like to do that. It's fun. But yeah, random shit I do in the car.
All right, Viv, I want to know why you answered so fast to this question.
I mean, like, sometimes like, I sing a lot in my car.
Oh, like out loud?
Yeah, like out loud. Like
Oh.
I'll be like, all right, I'm working on this song right now. Or yeah, I actually have like oftentimes I'll have a song that I'm currently working on. Like I'm trying to learn the rap to or the lyrics to and trying to like hit those specific notes. So I'll play the song and I'll rewind back like every like 10 seconds and I'll try and hit that note or try and hit that part. And then
This
if I don't
sounds
hit it
safe.
right,
Like while you're driving, you're like rewinding and shit.
you just press a button on your
Oh. Phone?
steering wheel.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it goes back 15 seconds and I try to hit that note again, or I go back a few seconds if I'm trying to like learn a rap verse
Mm.
and I mess up a word, then I'm like, oh fuck, okay, let's go back. And then if I like get it right, then I have this I have a lint roller in my car and I use that as my microphone. So if you're driving by me, you might see me hold a lint roller to my mouth and like sing into it like it's a
Why are you
mic.
driving with one hand and one hand on a lint roller?
I always drive with only one
Oh,
hand.
okay.
You have you driven but with your knees before?
No.
Yeah, I drive my knees sometimes,
That's
but like
What do you do with your hands, Viv? Jerking off.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I always feel like that's so awkward. Like when I pull up next to someone and my music's on, their music's on, and it's just like, okay, this is kind of weird because like my car's old, so I can only listen to the radio. So sometimes Katy Perry's on or something. Like it's fucking what's
you
that?
never
I mean,
feel like
just
a
own
trash
it.
plastic bag.
Trash bag.
Well, what does that mean? Like feel like it?
This song from was it Firework? Do
Oh
you ever
yeah.
feel like a plastic bag?
Oh,
drifting
that's the
through the
lyrics.
wind?
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, it would be something like that.
Like
And
Taylor
then
Swift.
they're like playing like some like Tupac or something like that. And I'm just like, brother, I didn't pick the
I
state.
want to be cool, man. Trust
Yeah.
me, this ain't my song of choice.
So then I just nowadays I just put in my like earbuds and then I just like my car is just complete silent and then I'm just listening stuff through my earphones. But like I also like to listen to podcasts a lot and sometimes like they talk about really random shit.
Mhm.
So they'll talk about some like crazy stuff. So then I was like, I don't want other people kind of like knowing I'm listening to this right now as I drive by.
I have had a few moments where I'm listening to our podcast and my windows will be down, and then I'll be like, I don't want them to hear my voice, and I'm like, how do they know it's me though?
That's true, actually. Just talking to a low voice. Hi. so they for sure know it's not you now. I mean, okay, could you imagine if you had one of those like anime waifu cars?
Like,
People be staring all the time, but I guess people who drive those like that's what they want, right? They want people to look at their cars. It's like you don't drive a Lambo, so like people don't check it out,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, I guess those are meant to catch attention and stuff. I was just thinking like I probably would want to drive like a Joe Schmo plane car, so no one
Mhm.
like looks at me while I'm driving and stuff.
would you ever drive a smart car?
Like the small little eggshell ones.
Yeah.
I actually used to think that was such a cool idea. Now I think it's complete stupid.
It's really safe though, isn't it? It rolls, not
If that hits a truck,
Perfect.
I don't know who's surviving.
safe in the city.
I don't know who's surviving that. Like what I realized is that the cars here were made for here, and they just kept making them bigger. So then they all had to be a little bit bigger to survive the other cars here.
Whenever I see a smart car, I'm like, I could go over and kick you over right now.
Yeah, but like I think that that's the reason like Japanese import cars like they're not allowed in certain areas, or they're not allowed after a certain time, or they have to be like specially inspected and stuff. Because like the cars there were built for the cars there, and they're all smaller, right? So like if a K van hits another K van in Japan, the damage is a little different than if like a Ford F-150 runs into like a K van, right? So yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it was just built for here, kind of thing. So that's why I think smart cars kind of like the concept was cool, but I just don't want to die, kind of thing.
I agree.
Like I actually thought about it nowadays. I was like, I kind of like having my SUV, even though it's not as like fuel efficient as like a sedan.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly because like if something were to hit me, I'm more safe. Like nothing would happen to me, and like
yeah.
I'm at the mentality now. It's like if I had a family, I would want them all to have something that's a bit safer. Just because there's some wild shit that happens here.
True.
But yeah, so Lynn, you said you keep going down memory lane a lot, or what?
Yeah, I feel like I often do, and I'm not sure if it's because maybe I'm getting older and that's just what people do when they age. But I think like back to my old relationships. Sometimes I think back to not in a weird way, but
Not satisfied.
not.
No.
Yeah.
You're thinking about
Like I'll
the
think
big
about the
daddy over
stuff.
there.
Like I'll think about the stuff how I used to react to like an argument or like, and I think like, oh, I think I did that before and it was so cringe, and now I'm like I don't care about the same
Oh.
shit. Or
Yeah.
I think back to when I was a child, like childhood, and I think being in Edmonton too, like triggers a lot of stuff because obviously I don't live here anymore. Like I'll go by my high school or I'll go by like my old house or something like that. And I'm like, oh, like I remember crazy that I used to be like 10 years old living in this house, like no worries in the world. I just go home, go to school, eat dinner with my parents, like, and it was like all fun and games. And now I'm like 27, I'm just fucking so old. And my grandparents say that to me too. They're like, oh my god, like so it's like yesterday you were like 7 and now you're like 27, you have a job and a life. And I think recently I've been going back down a lot, just thinking about the great times, the bad times, how I'm different and how everyone else is different. Like maybe that's just me.
No.
Is there something you feel like you're missing from your life right now that makes you look back
I don't know.
at it a lot?
Well, being in Edmonton actually makes me homesick a lot of times. Like I kind of wish, oh, maybe like I'll move back sometime, or maybe I'll come back more often. Like seeing my parents and stuff like that triggers it a lot too. Like, oh, I want to be home with them more. But then I don't know. Like I'm trying to find a job here. I don't want to move back here. Then there's Zach, and then it's like a whole thing I have to like think about, right?
Mhm.
But I don't know. I just
Would
feel
he come with you?
no. He says he hates Alberta, so
Oh.
I think
know what?
Calgary.
We
he
don't like
would.
BC either.
Yeah, so true. I know.
I love BC.
I feel like BC,
I'm
but
trying to make a point.
Oh,
I think
Fuck
Calgary-
Zach.
I think Calgary. I think he would compromise
Just kidding,
with
Zach.
Calgary, but not with Edmonton. Maybe
I see.
Calgary is like kind of there's still stuff. There's mountains and stuff, right? But he's more concerned about the. It's like so dry here. He says his skin gets really dry when he's here. So he says. I think it's
Oh.
bullshit, but you know.
I mean, it is true.
Yeah, obviously it
The
is.
air
true,
is drier here.
So maybe he has moldy ass skin.
but- Yep.
Alright.
Yeah, that's it.
Wait, so does that only trigger when you get here? Like when you're in Vancouver,
No,
do you have the same thoughts?
Yeah, sometimes in Vancouver, like I'll think about how I still find 4 years later in Vancouver, I still look like I'll like go drive downtown and I'll see the mountains and I'm like, damn, I still can't believe like I live here after all this time. Like it's almost still not settled in my brain that I've moved away, I live in Vancouver and stuff like that. And it's almost like I don't think about it. But then when I see like the skyline or I see them like a mountain, I'm like, oh my god, like I've like lived here for 4 years, like it's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. But then coming home, like I see Viv, and like, oh, it's like no time has passed. Like we just
Mhm.
catch up like it's nothing, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that typically happens with really good friends, I guess. Or
Yeah.
I don't know, like just people you just connect really
Yeah.
well with.
Yeah, or like I'll have periods of like epiphanies where it's like, damn, I can't believe I was so depressed 2 years ago, and like I'm great now. Like life is good, and I think back to what I've learned and all the good stuff and all the good people that I've met and all the how the depression and the sadness kind of like fades away, and I didn't even realize I wouldn't be able to tell you what day I stopped being depressed. Like there's like
Oh yeah.
it's like
No.
a fade, right? And then you get to this point now and you're like, oh my god, like life worked out. I should have told I would go back in time and tell 2 years ago me, yo, it gets better. Like, relax. Like,
Mhm.
pay your dues, and then, 2 years from now, it'll be good. You'll find your groove again.
Dude, okay, just let all our listeners, we're not that fucking old. Let's make it sound old as fuck. We're not that. I mean, okay, so I feel bad sometimes because we talk about this stuff, and I think back to it. I was like, dude, we're not even that old. I feel like there's like people that are like we're such babies compared to all these other people. Like especially people I work with and stuff. They're all
Yeah.
like in their 40s and 50s, and we're like, maybe I shouldn't feel bad about this stuff. But it kind of sucks. Like it's hard to not think and feel bad about it, right? Like
Yeah.
when you're at that time. I'm sure when they were at that age, they felt the same thing. They just didn't have the means to make a podcast or anything like that.
I think it's more so the age where you kind of had to start making like bigger decisions, and a lot of your more permanent attributes to your life become more like permanent, and you decide on more like long-term goals, and everything that you do has more of a long-term effect than when you were younger. Maybe that's the reason why you feel like you're getting older.
Well, I feel like also for me, when I feel like I'm getting older, I feel like I'm starting to like learn a bit more about life. And the one thing I've learned the most is like no one knows what the fuck's going on.
Oh yeah.
And the more I know, like the more I remind myself that, the more I feel okay. When I was like, because I usually had major imposter syndrome. Like I was like, I don't belong where I am and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But I always think back as like, oh shit, like no one knows what's going on. Like we're all just going with the flow and trying to figure this shit out.
I think that's actually really refreshing, especially in the workplace, because you're like, my boss is doing this for the first time,
Yeah.
or like whoever in charge of me or whoever is my leader is doing this for the first time. So it's like it's a lot less daunting when everyone is just trying their best to make things work.
Yeah. Yeah. I think when I was at my last job, that was the moment where I took control, where I was like, oh shit. Like pretty much up until that point for like a good year and a half, I always asked my boss and all these other people for like, hey, how do I do this? How do I do this? Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, I realized like, you know what? They know literally as much as me.
Yeah.
So like, I'm just going to decide how to do it and just roll with it.
Mm-hmm.
That is very interesting. So you like to reminisce a lot then, no, Lynn?
Yeah, I think it's because I've been through shit, and now I know I have like a better like gratefulness of life now. Like, hey, like I'm in a good place. I've met all these people. You almost like need to suffer to like see the sunrise and enjoy the time now that you have.
Do you think the hardest is yet to come? I think I haven't been through enough. To be honest, my life is pretty great.
I think there's always mountains you have to climb, and even though you come out of the hole and then you reach your goal, even at the top you're still gonna have another, like there's okay, so my prime example is, you guys didn't know, I tried to be a police officer a few years ago and I failed and I couldn't go. That brought me into like this whole spiral of failure and depression, and I was just so shitting on myself every day, just so depressed, right? And then I think about it, and I think if I were to still pursue it, or even if I got there that time, even if I reached my goal to get this career, even at that career, you're going to face hurdles that you are going to struggle with, and you're going to have your own new set of hurdles and hard times. And even when you overcome that, then there's always more. Like, you're never going to be, even if you reach your goals, you're never going to be like complacent, I guess. Like, there's always something more that you're going to have to struggle with.
Yeah.
Always people you're gonna disagree with. There's always people starting drama in your life. There's always that guy that cut you off on the road, and you're gonna think about, why I feel so much road rage for no reason, like that kind of thing, right? Like, there's always more, I feel.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't suffered enough, kind of like I feel like there's more to come still. Like, I haven't had a kid yet. I assume that's hard.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Assumption. I don't really pay like any crazy bills right now, so I assume that's hard. I didn't buy a house or mortgage or anything. I didn't start a business. I assume that's all stressful and hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like I'm such an infant compared to everyone else. I was like, fuck, still gotta like, suffer through this a little bit more first.
Yeah, and you're gonna get there, and once you get there, you're gonna be like, holy shit, this is fucking awful. But then again, you're gonna keep going, and you're gonna realize this is not the end, or like worse things will happen to you. Like, worse things have happened to me since my incident, and I'm like, oh my god, I thought that was rock bottom. No, this is fucking rock bottom. And then the rock bottom just keeps getting deeper and deeper.
That's
until
fucking
you fall.
depressing, dude. Is this the path you meant to go on? I thought you were saying some motivational, inspirational speech.
No. Shit, life's hard. I hate to break it to all of y'all.
I know this
You
is just
doing okay?
Lynn's. This is Lynn's experience, guys. This isn't the JV experience.
Yeah.
Let's just take a reverse on this one right here. Let me just delete this last couple of minutes here. It's kind of killing the vibe here, Lynn. I mean, I think it is, but isn't your hardest job always your last job? That's a saying in construction. Your hardest job is always your last job.
Yeah.
Because like you always. Oh no, sorry. Your hardest job is your next job.
Yeah.
That's the right way of saying it. Your hardest job is always your next job because it's always something new, something different, something harder, right?
Yeah.
And like, what is hard? What is difficult? So like, there's different types of complexity, right? So complexity, as in like, if I'm trying to build a rocket, that's a very unique challenge complexity. But I feel like all other thing that's quote unquote hard is just something you don't know. It's not hard. It's like if I were to tell you to start business, you just have to fill out this form. Okay, so if I didn't tell you to fill out this form, you'd be like going around and trying to figure out how to start a business, right?
Mhm.
And then when you learn that, I just have to start this, I have to figure out fill out this form, do this other thing, and then I can start my business. Then all of a sudden, starting a business has now become an easy thing, right? The task of starting a business, not the idea generation, right? So I mean, hard's always the new and unique and ambiguous thing, right?
You're also not gonna. You need to go through those things and learn things in order to grow as a person, right? Like if you always take the easy way, you're not gonna learn anything. You're gonna take the easy jobs. Like you can work at McDonald's, but is it fulfilling? Probably not. You're not
Could be.
gonna-
I actually know somebody who started working at McDonald's in high school and they never left because they said that they felt the most amount of happiness that they've ever felt in their life at that job, and so they're like dedicated to working at McDonald's for the rest of their
Oh,
life.
they're a manager now. They're still a cashier. What's going on there?
I don't know. I wasn't that close with them.
But like that's like again,
They
like
fat.
happiness,
That's what they
right?
Jesus Christ, man.
Makes you happy at the end of the day too, right? But I'm saying if you never crawl out that rock bottom, you're never gonna live again. You're never gonna.
That's
learn.
pretty. I mean, that's one way of thinking about it. I'm a pretty optimistic guy, so even if it's hard,
You're
I usually
optimistic.
I'm optimistic as fuck. I always think it's gonna work out. Like I struggle, but I always think I'll figure it out, kind of thing.
I'm pessimistic as fuck. I always think worst case scenario, and I prepare for the worst case scenario.
Well, yeah, you're
so that
supposed
I'm
to.
ready for that worst case scenario.
You're supposed to plan for the worst case scenario, but it's not how I feel,
Mhm.
right? Like I plan for, like I bring an extra battery because I've planned that my car won't start for some reason. But it's not like it's not like I think it's not gonna start. I think it's gonna start every time, right? But I just plan for that just in case. But I mean, I do feel like I feel some dark energy coming from you, Lynn. You okay?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm good. No, I'm saying I'm good now. But
Oh,
like
okay. You're saying
being in rock bottom before, and like the rock bottom gets deeper.
Yeah.
Now I've learned to appreciate life now in a way that's like, wow, I used to be in rock bottom, and now what a great sunset,
But
what a great sunrise.
Is it even rock bottom anymore though?
But that was my rock bottom. Is what I'm saying, and that's what I mean about time. Is that time is the only cure for a lot of things.
You solved it.
Not everything, a lot of things.
I wouldn't say entirely. I feel like even when time passes and if you don't really address your issues, then some people become like bitter
Mm-hmm.
or people become traumatized or they
Or-
become petty people and then
Or addicted.
yeah, or addicted or assholes or things like that.
Yeah, actually, that's true. You know the saying "time solves all."
Mhm.
Not really the case. Like alcoholism.
Yeah.
Like I think it's just I don't think time really solves that shit. Right? Like time solves some stuff. I think time just lessens the wounds, no? Or changes the experience.
True too. I think you need the time to work on yourself and to address your issues, right?
But only if you want to.
Yeah, you have to want to. I realize that with a lot of people these days, they're not. You can't get better if you don't want to. Because I know people that have gone to therapy, but they said that either it doesn't work or the doctor said they're fine, and I'm like, bro, you're not fine. Like because you're not being open with the therapist, or you're not being truthful to them. You don't want to be there and change yourself. Then it's not gonna work for you, right?
What if that makes them happy and shit? Lynn, what do you know about their happiness,
But
huh?
they've told me they're not happy. No, I'm saying like they are like, oh, I'm depressed, but the doctor said I'm fine.
Oh.
But I'm like, you just say you're depressed.
That's actually tough. So, could you be depressed okay, you could be like a nepo baby. You could be depressed because your mom didn't buy you that $1 million car.
Fuck, I want to have that kind of issue.
All right, but to us, that's like, what the fuck? But I mean, remember what we said before? The worst thing that happens to you is the worst thing that's happened to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, because then the doctor would tell them, no, shut the fuck up. This isn't true depression. But to them, that's the worst thing that's ever happened to them. Like, they might kill themselves.
That's true.
Like, that's crazy, actually. I had never thought about it in that sense.
It's too wild.
Right?
Think about it.
Yeah, because where the 1%?
Yeah.
I didn't have to swim across the ocean. I didn't have to fight off like crazy racism or anything like that. But yet sometimes I bitch about stuff too, right?
Hmm.
And like if you consider the entire world, we are the 1%. We're the top 1% of the whole world,
Right.
right? Like look at this, these mics and shit. Kids in Africa don't have mics. They don't even have food. I mean, I don't know if that's a stereotype or anything like that, or I think some of them don't have food.
Yeah. We don't have the same issues of trying to like go for our base or supply our basic needs every day.
I think that's what drives me to like not complain that much. Like a part of that drives my optimism because like I mean I have arms and legs. Like look at that guy, you know, he's a quadriplegic or something like that, right? Like it could be way worse, kind of thing. So yeah, I don't know actually. Very
That's a good way to put it, though.
Very I don't know.
To
That's
be
why
grateful,
I think
right?
a part of it is grateful. I don't know. Like I don't know. I actually don't consider anything that deep. I just think it's like I'm just nothing to complain about because it could be a lot worse, right?
Right. I think so too.
Good mindset, I think.
I think if you learn to suffer well, then most things will be surmountable.
Yeah. Ooh, crazy dog. This is the new dog, by the way, guys. All right, so let's go to something crazy, the time traveling part of this podcast. Let's get some facts straight. You can travel forward in time. There's no theoretical way of traveling back in time right now.
Actually,
Ooh.
there is.
Okay, go on.
So if you wait, let me. Okay, there is,
Okay.
but I don't remember exactly how. I think it was that if you go into a black hole,
Oh, wormhole type of bullshit.
wormhole type of thing, then you can technically go backwards.
Yeah. Let's just even get there first, kind of thing.
Yes.
How's that? Can you explain that theory? I don't know that theory.
I don't think she does either.
Yeah, it's not really connected in my brain right now, but the theory is that normally if you look at space-time as a fabric, look at this shit, Noel, okay? Have you been space-time like this, and there's a wormhole right here, then technically if we go into this wormhole and come out this side, then you're technically backwards in time.
Isn't that space, though? Isn't that just cutting it through space?
Technically, yes, but then like space is measured by time too.
It's not that clear of science.
It's not that.
It's back to like
It's like theoretical, right?
it's not even theoretical. Like they don't know the equations to it. There's just a lot of woo woo that goes in there. Right? A lot of voodoo shit that goes into there. Because I think the other theory is like if traveling back in time is possible, the two theories is it's not invented yet or someone else has already have traveled back in time.
Right.
Right? Those are the two options, right? So it's I don't know. I just think it's kind of weird. It's like a lot of paradoxes and shit that happens if you do travel back in time. Because like if you travel back in time and you affect the stuff that happens and all the timeline
Yeah,
and
like how
stuff.
would that?
Because like if they affect the stuff that actually happens, then they didn't affect the stuff that happened. That was already something that was going to happen. That means someone was destined to go back in time, or they had to go back in time for the timeline to remain normal.
Yeah, there's a lot of technicalities to it.
But traveling forward in time is not very easy, but it's very obvious, kind of like it's trivial. It's very simple. You just have to go really fast, go near the speed of light, and then your time compared to normal time is different.
Right.
Or somewhere where there's a big gravitational well, and time is also different there. So regardless of the technicality, if you could travel in time, what are okay, if you could travel in time and affect something in your life, what would you do?
I personally would, based on my own life and my own choices, back to like my career aspirations, I probably would handle my depression a bit different.
Wow, that's kind of lame, no?
Like no,
What
but like
the fuck?
I would find the
Like,
lottery
there's-
number and I would fucking
Okay.
write it down and send
Yeah.
it to the little old elf.
No, I wouldn't do lottery numbers. If I had that kind of power, then I would do stocks. Like know which ones to buy because I feel like for lottery, your name goes out there and people will be able to like be like, oh yeah, I know that Alvin lied. Alvin won the lottery this year, blah blah blah. Let's go hunt this man down.
So
We know that this man has a lot of money.
the problem with the stock side of it is that you need capital in order to get something, right? Whereas lottery, you don't need the capital.
That
Like,
is
you need
true.
money in order to invest to make more money.
That is true. But then if you go in the past, then you just buy like one Apple stock or something like that, and then you're set for a while, and then you know how to like play with your stocks, and you know that, oh, like in this year I should probably buy a Tesla stock, or this year I should buy Bitcoin, and this year I should buy this, blah blah blah. And then you,
I see.
as long as you know like which stocks are gonna blow up, you can essentially play the game that way.
So, do you think that type of changes to the history would actually change it? I'm actually curious about that, because like if you invest a significant amount in a certain company but you don't provide anything else other than that capital investment, would that change the outcome of the future of that company, right?
I'm sure if you go into the details, if you change literally anything and you go into when you go into the past, it'll affect something eventually.
Right. It's interesting to me because I know in a book I read recently, it's just all like theory and shit. Not theory, but like it's just a fictional book, and they're saying that the main character went back in time, and anytime he went back in time and changed something or tried to change something significant, the world would like go against that. Like, for example, I tried to stop this person from shooting Lynn, and I knew Lynn was going to be shot on this day. As I'm driving there to stop that person, my car's going to break down. And then as I get and grab a taxi, that taxi is going to break down too.
Like Canada events.
Yeah, it's like stuff is just going to stop you from getting to that moment.
So like destiny. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
Destined to.
Yeah. If you travel back in time. But if it's non-consequential, then it won't happen as often. Is kind of how I thought about it. But yeah, anyways, that would be my way. I guess that'd be smart too. Yeah, do the stock thing. I think the lottery thing is just perfect. You just don't do shit.
It's very easy. But I feel like there's people who are like bad people out there, and they want to get easy money somehow, and they're like, oh hey, I know that the guy like 2 houses down won the lottery recently. Wouldn't they like come after you?
Well, I wouldn't live 2 houses down no more once I win the lottery, no?
I mean, even if you moved, I feel like you can look up people's information online for whoever's
at
won
that
the lottery in the
moment, right?
past.
It's just their name.
Like past lottery winners, and then there's a picture of you too.
Yeah. So if I move to somewhere else.
So you would just pick up all your shit and go? Because
Oh
you want?
yeah, I'm dipping right away, man.
Oh damn. Okay.
I win the lottery here?
Or I would move to, I don't remember which state it was, but there are some states in the USA where when you win the lottery, you can receive the prize money under the name like Jane Doe.
Yeah, but they tax you in the States. So Big Brother's gonna have a cut, you know? I mean, anyways, okay, Lynn, you were talking about something about like stopping your depression.
I like that. When I went for my depression, you guys both fucking wanted to invest in stocks and win the lottery.
Yeah. I mean, feels like it would change my life quite a bit, you know?
I would tell myself. Well, yeah, I would go back in time. Yeah, like I said, I would go back in time and tell myself.
How would you tell yourself? Because you can't talk to yourself.
Okay, then my point is moot.
I mean, if you could talk to yourself, wouldn't that fuck it up a bit? It'll be like
right on the walls.
It'll be like,
Sure,
that'd be so scary.
Write a letter to myself.
Noelle would be like, holy fuck.
But then how does that work? Because if I told myself how to cure my depression, but then that would not lead me to go back in time to cure my depression. So how does that work?
Oh, then that means you can't do that.
Yeah, that means I can't do that. So forget it.
True.
I mean, a lot of the going back in time would be very paradoxical and fucked up.
This reminds me of Futurama episodes where they go and shoot Hitler. Or Fry becomes his own grandfather.
And a bunch of shit happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go not changing your life. Is there an era in time that you would want to try to live in? Yeah.
Pre-World War One, probably, in Canada.
Pre-World War
Yeah.
One?
Like that era.
Bro, you're going to eat potatoes every day, all day.
Just to visit. Like I want to see, like I actually have a fascination with history. Like I've seen a lot of photos of like Vancouver, Toronto, Edmonton like 100 years ago versus now, like how it's developed and stuff, and it looks actually kind of cool.
They don't have running water. Is that
No,
what you
I
want?
get that, but I want to see like historically building people, how they dress differently, etc., etc. Or like feudal Japan would be kind of cool. To see all the castles.
You want to
And
get...
fucking
fucking wars and get
samurais.
someone to shoot an arrow at you. Fucking Kogomi is gonna hunt down your ass. That bitch looks like she has a Shikan jewel.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I could go that far back. I don't think I would enjoy it that far back.
Or what about like right when the internet
No.
got invented, or right when like first
I think like
cell phone or something?
it's close. I think I would go to like right after one of the depressions.
Like how far? How far after?
Like I think I don't know. I actually don't know much about history, but I think the 70s or 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Where like there's still refrigeration, there's still
Yeah.
warm water and all that shit, and like food is just so much different, and like I want to experience all that, and just the fact that like I can just drive to the airport and just buy a flight to somewhere and not having to care about all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find it crazy that there was a time before like CATSA was a thing. Like you just walk onto an airplane and like they wouldn't
Yeah.
check your shit.
Yeah, and then they got bombed
Like
a couple
imagine
times.
9/11 didn't happen, and then would we still have that, or
We'd be less racist, that's for sure.
But do you think if 9/11 didn't happen, it would happen some other time or with another group?
I think it'll eventually happen.
Yeah, I
not
think it's gonna-
not like that, but eventually some plane is gonna get hijacked to do something.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna be like, whoa, whoa, whoa! You guys gotta start taking off your shoes and stuff. We gotta see all of that, right? Like it feels like looking back now, like at that moment, I still remember that time. It was like what the hell? Like this is crazy. Like at that moment, I was so excited because I didn't have to go to school. But like obviously, everyone's like very sad and like somber and stuff.
Mm.
But for me, inside, I just couldn't hold my joy for not having to go to school. Right?
You're too young to understand what's
Yeah,
going on, right?
Like I was like, oh yeah, this looks like the next X-Men movie or some shit like that, right?
well, I was too young. I didn't remember anything that was going on back then.
I just remember that yeah, we were about to get ready to go to school and 9/11 happened. We got to school and all the teachers were like, you have to be very respectful. You can't just like, and in my mind I'm like, dude, like I just want to get out of here, man.
Mm. I
Right?
remember that too.
So like you just didn't understand it that well, right?
Yeah, no, I didn't know what was going on.
But then looking back now, it felt like it had to happen.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like it felt like if it didn't happen at that moment, it's gonna happen at some other moment moving forward.
Someone else is gonna.
Right? Like someone else is gonna invade Afghanistan. It's not us, it's someone. This has happened all throughout history. It has to happen again. Yeah, but I don't know. I would say, wait, how do we get on this topic?
Going
The
back in
bomb?
time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but yeah, definitely would go to the time where someone can actually be anonymous, and I could use my current knowledge to like become something like very like my current knowledge will actually give me a heads up. I feel like if you go too far back, your current knowledge doesn't do shit. Like they're still plowing by hand and like farming and stuff, and like you can tell them, oh look, I can make a band-aid. I'm like, what the fuck is this for? Or like something like that, you know what I mean? Or like, oh look at this screwdriver.
Shoot
Like,
him.
it's a witch. Right? Like at that point, like your knowledge is not relevant anymore. But I think in the 70s and 80s, it'll be still relatively relevant. But okay, so say we all went back to that time. Like what would you actually do? Like how can you contribute? How can you actually advance?
You mean like change society, or just? I thought we were just visiting, just for the fuck of visiting.
I mean,
How far back are we going?
70s or 80s is what I was
These are-
saying.
Okay.
I was just saying too far back, that's Cold War shit. And then it's also the Great Depression. So you want to go a little bit out of that, right? I don't know, like, because like everything's different. Like I can't even do solid models like I do now because the technology's not there. But I understand all the concepts of like physics and stuff still. So I definitely like do something in academia, I think.
Yeah.
That's what I would do at least. I'm like, yo guys, check out this theory.
Check out this theory that I definitely thought of myself.
This guy has invented 50 different things in the last year. But I mean, at some point, it's not relevant too, right? Like the certain technology couldn't be invented without the other stuff, and like you only know so much. Like it's not like I had the blueprints to like the iPhone or anything like that, right? So
Think about the most useful thing to bring back that would really revolutionize everything and speed up technology and like advancement.
I bring my electric scooter back. Holy fuck! What the fuck, man?
That would be fucking sick.
This guy's a magician. I don't know, actually. I can't think of anything. Can you think of anything off the top of your head, Lynn?
I want to say electric cars. Like, how come it's
No,
just been a
you have
thing
to be able to
now?
carry it. I think that's the rules.
How do what?
You'd
Or,
have to
like,
be able to carry it.
What I'm thinking is that you also have to be able to replicate it and break
Uh-huh.
it down into its elements and be able to teach this to other people so that they can also replicate it.
You
So
think-
that's
I
how
know.
they
But do you
advance.
think
I know it.
Do you think if they made electric cars in the beginning, if global warming would be
They
solved?
did. They made electric cars in the 70s, and the oil company broke them all. They killed them.
Is that actually? I thought it was a
Yes.
conspiracy
No.
theory.
No, it happens.
Damn.
There's like yards full of them that got trashed because the oil companies didn't want that to happen. It happened in the 70s once already. Okay, I had thought of the perfect thing, guys. Slap chop. It's
Slap chop?
so simple to replicate. You already know how to do the commercials.
Oh my god, true. You'll be
And then
like,
you'd make
a
so much
genius.
money,
No,
right?
no. Scrub daddy.
Holy shit! The script. I should change my life.
would you be able?
No, I know. Fucking
What do you mean ring?
ring doorbells.
But would you be able to replicate the technology?
Think so. Like they had cameras back in the day,
Not that small. They don't have lenses that great.
but if you have the idea, you're like, all right, guys, this is the idea. Let's have a team of people work on minimizing the.
But there's too much like intermediate step that's not up to you, right? Like Wi-Fi technology, electrical batteries, or whatever it's
Okay,
connected
it's
to.
true,
It's
it's
too
true.
much. But slap chop, what do you need? You just need a machine shop and some plastic molds, and you can make slap chop. And people are like, "Holy fuck! I've never thought of this."
True.
Right? And it's something like maybe because I'm dumb, but it's something I feel like I can replicate pretty easily. I'm like, here's the parts, here's the molds for it. You just go to China, make a fuck ton, bring it here, and sell it.
Hijack the fucking mask making companies and be like, just wait, guys. Just wait.
We're gonna make these N95s.
Hand sanitizer mask. Bro.
You just stock up N95s for years. It's 2015. They're like, yo, why do you have so many masks for? It's like, you just wait, motherfuckers. I mean, I'm just trying to think of what else would be so simple that was like kind of a game changer. I can't really think of much right now. That's
Well, lighters. They're matchbooks.
They had lighters back then.
I mean,
back
lighter's pretty
then.
easy. It's not too. It's like it's too obvious. You know what I mean? Like slap chop's not obvious. Back in the day, the 70s and 80s, no way. They're still using the mandolin or whatever, right?
You're right. They
You're
were.
like, "No, you use slap chop instead." But I wonder, like, I think I would probably start introducing 3D printing pretty early if I was there too, because I know the concepts of it. I understand you can't do it at a small scale like I do here, but like you could do it with bigger motors, bigger stuff. It just like it'd look way uglier, right? As a start,
Right. Yeah.
but at least you'll have a start. But that'd be crazy too, because if I started like back in 70s and 80s to make that, like what would it be now? Like 50 years later, and 3D printing already started back then.
Yeah, that would be insane.
Yeah. But I don't know. That's all I can really think of. Like something revolutionary. Oh, sriracha.
Whoa, that would be.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That would be
It's
pretty
the
sick.
peppers. You just have to find a farm that grows that pepper. It's vinegar, pepper, sugar, salt. And that's sriracha.
And they ferment it.
I mean, guys, I'm telling you.
I mean, if you no, I was gonna say ranch. I fucking love ranch.
I think they had ranch, didn't they?
I feel like the love all around is not the same. Sriracha.
Okay, so how about the other way? Going forward in time, would you want to go forward in time?
No, I feel like no because I like.
You'd
to
be dumb.
surprised.
Oh,
Oh, what?
like if you went forward in time, you'd be an idiot, right?
Oh,
If
yeah,
you brought
that too.
someone from the 70s here, they'd
Yeah.
be like grade 3 level reading or whatever other stuff that's happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't know how to use computers. They just wouldn't understand shit. They'll see a car and I guess they had cars back then, but they'll be confused, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I would want to, just because I feel like I could find a way to fit in. I could be, one of the like the geezers type of thing that isn't too into technology but has a lot of like historical value,
Yeah.
like stories and shit. Like, oh, back in my day, we had to rent our scooters and not our hoverboards or whatever.
I would actually want to move forward in time at a certain age. So I think that depending on my health or based on the general population, you typically lose a lot of mobility or your unable to do things as easily and with as much energy when you hit around 60. And if there was some sort of guarantee or some sort of budding technology aside from putting yourself into Cairo sleep, I would put myself into that with hopes that somebody will wake me up in like 1,000 years.
Wouldn't you just want to like upload your mind and then
Or that.
download your mind in 1,000 years and a robot,
Or
like a
that, yeah.
Westworld body?
Yeah, that would be fucking sick.
Yeah.
And then you see all the technology that's changed, all the advancement in medicine.
Your just fucking brain just blows up, like literally.
Yeah, I'd be
Yeah,
like,
bro.
oh my god, this is a brain orgasm. This is so fucking sick.
But I mean, it is the worst part would be that all your friends and family have died.
Sometimes it'd be like that, okay? Like if I lived up to 16, and I feel like I would have already came to terms with that thought. And I feel like in general in life, I'm pretty okay with the idea of dying.
I think I don't know. I don't like. I love to live forever and do the whole mind upload thing, but I would be eternally sad to lose all my friends and family.
Mm.
And I don't know if it like I actually don't know if it's worth it.
I think it would be.
It'd be
It would be really sad, but I imagine that when I'm around 60, I'm like, I lived a decent life.
Rip Viv's future husband if there is one.
Sometimes
He's
they're
still
like that,
he's
man.
still popping around doing normal shit, and he's
You
like
really gotta go next year? Yeah, see ya, fucker.
he's on Tinder at that moment.
All right, download Tinder.
Yeah. You don't need your things anymore, right?
He's like putting a price tag on my sweater as I'm wearing it.
Yeah. I mean, you don't, because if that could happen, you just need to do the whole invest a penny and then it'll grow exponentially, and
Mhm.
that was a South Park episode where
Mhm.
like people came back in time and they all look like brownish yellow because they're all like half Indian and Asian because they're the most population, and they're saying they can work for almost nothing because they just put that in a bank today, and then when they go back to their time, it's like a significant amount of money. But yeah. I mean, so I actually don't know if I would. That's a hard sell for me. Just because I don't know. Like back then, I thought for sure I would because of like the whole like technology and like aging and all that stuff. But now, I don't know. It'll feel shitty to not have my friends and family with me.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is life, to be honest. Sometimes life just happens like that.
I mean, isn't that just like if you were stuck alone in some like forest or something forever, would you just kill yourself? Like knowing you had a family and stuff, and you had to like leave them, you got exiled or some shit.
No.
Really? I mean, I wouldn't, but I'm
Always
not.
friends elsewhere.
No, you're exiled. You're nowhere. You live off the land now.
No.
And you had to do it. You did some heinous crime, and now you're exiled. You shat in the bowl, the sacred bowl. Whatever they use to baptize babies, you
Mhm.
shat in that.
Mhm.
You're now exiled.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough because you lose all your friends and family, right? Because like it is true. That is kind of like the whole purpose sometimes. Like that's not my complete purpose, but without my friends and family, a lot of things that I wouldn't like to do becomes a lot less motivated to do those things.
I agree.
But with them, it's like, oh, it feels good. Like, do you even have ego anymore if you have no one? Because sometimes the things you do that you don't want to do is driven by ego.
Mm.
Like you want to impress someone, you want to impress yourself. Even impressing yourself. Like, why do you want to impress yourself? Well, it looks cool. Well, who's it look cool to? And you're like, fuck. But then if you have friends and family, like it looks cool to them.
Yeah, if you don't have anyone important to you, then a lot of life's meaning kind of goes away.
Yeah. So then I don't know. I'm debating on the traveling forward in time. I like to do it, but I have to have someone with me, at least, right? Because like you have that that feeling, you can connect in a way that no one else can. Right? Like I feel like sometimes that's how people feel when they have like a unique situation that no one else has. They just feel like they can never truly connect to anyone, right?
Mm.
Like it's always in the movie, the alien, the whatever weird animal or the weird thing. They're trying to find their family, their soulmate, whatever, just so they find something to connect to. But for us, it's a bit easier, right? Like we can relate to each other relatively well.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, no, I don't think I would. I don't know. Like I want to, but I don't think I'd go through with it. I might chicken out or something. Unless I'm like on my deathbed.
Yeah.
And like the only option is to go forward in time to fix to secure whatever I have. I was like, well, I'm gonna die anyways. I might as well try it. That's the only way I do it.
I think my fascination with knowledge is larger than my will to live.
Oh, really? You die for
Oh.
science?
In some ways, like
You
okay,
have
if
body worlds or whatever?
I signed up to be an organ donor.
Oh, no, body worlds.
I know,
They
but I
took-
think Body World is pretty sick.
Isn't that
but-
Chinese prisoners they took? And they,
Huh? Really?
yeah. That's
Oh
the
my
theory,
Lord.
right?
I don't know. But at a certain age, I feel like okay, it's kind of like gambling on how much more value can I get out of this life versus if I were to be able to access the knowledge that people have in like 1,000 years.
Would you want to create the knowledge people can access in 1,000 years?
Yeah, but I feel like the advancement won't be as great and I won't be able to see where it can go.
Oh.
If I'm that old or at 60, 70 years old, then given however much time I have left to live, I won't be able to see what great things could come of it. Like if somebody was first creating a calculator, they wouldn't be able to know today that there's AR and VR. Like they wouldn't be able to imagine that.
That's true.
And they could be like, let me just live out. I created the calculator at age 65.
Wait,
let me
does
live
that-
out my life a little to see how far this amazing technology can come.
Doesn't that make it sad for you right now then? Whatever you create now, you also won't be able to see how far it go.
Yeah, exactly. So like at a certain age, I feel like I would have to decide on, okay, like probably have like estimated this many amount of years to my life.
What's your estimate?
Or like if I was like around like 65, 70, like around that age, then I would probably be like, one of these days, if it's possible to put me into some sort of sleep and wake me up in like 1,000 years, then I would consider it.
Really? I still
Yeah.
feel like that's relatively young, no?
Eh,
60? I don't know. Like, I think my parents are 60
that's,
somewhere.
actually, yeah,
already.
that's true. My parents are also that.
So it's like, brother,
Okay, yeah, maybe
you
like
still have some years
80.
left.
You're right. 80 would be a better number.
That's true.
That's how I feel about Steve. I think about Steve Jobs sometimes, and I think like, do you think he even understands how big Apple got?
He's stupid. He had that cancer and it could have been cured, but he didn't go through with the treatment. He thought he could do some home therapy shit.
Hmm.
Damn.
I don't know. He missed out though, because I think that's what I remember. He died from some type of
I think
cancer
so, but, and he
that
didn't
could have
wanna-
been cured. It's like one of the rare curable ones, but he wanted to do some like home therapy treatment thing, and then he
I
died from
remember
it. And he's like, of all the cancers you could get, that's the like you'd want that one because you could actually. I think it was like an 85% chance of curing that if he went through with the treatment.
Okay, never mind.
So I don't know, man. I don't know what's going through his head, hey?
Yeah, clearly.
Fuck. In his afterlife, oh, that's one regretful motherfucker.
Look back. You have all that money, and you're like, let me go the holistic path.
That's
Let me lick this flower, and hopefully it cures me.
That'd be crazy. All right. Any other notes on time traveling? No. No.
Guys, if any of you guys can control time, you can tell me, okay?
Oh yeah.
We
Yeah,
won't tell
yeah,
the government.
yeah, that's true.
We just want
That's
to
true.
play around and make life a little.
I've
bit
always
more
thought about that.
interesting.
Ever since we talked about the superhero thing, actually, whatever. I was like, I don't want to be experimented on, right?
Hmm.
Dude, if we could find someone that could time travel, holy fuck, we would experiment the
That'd be insane.
fuck out
Imagine
on that.
We met them and they're like, yeah, I don't want to be your friend though. I'd be like, wait, I swear I'm a nice person. Let's just hang out. I think you're so cool.
You have the fucking Secret Service on, or you have the CIA on speed dial.
Yeah, or else.
Imagine it's someone that can do that, but they're like your worst enemy.
Oh,
Find out someone that you fucking hated, and they're like, oh shit, it's them.
yeah. I mean, that's tough because if I could time travel and I saw my worst enemy, it's like I need them. Like they're my Joker they're the Joker to my Batman, Batman, right? Yeah, to my They're the Joker to my Batman, right? Like you need them because if not, you just go back in time and punch his mother's stomach while she's pregnant, right? But then you need that person as your enemy, no? Like, doesn't some of our enemies define us sometimes? Like the people you hate the most, kind of like you need that in your life, ish. You don't know you need it in your life.
Yeah, you do a lot of reflection and you're like, do I really hate them? They
Yeah.
seem kind of cool, no?
Yeah. Do you like? I can just see Batman just like twirling his thumb at home, just crying. Why'd you have to go so soon, Joker?
Can you bring my parents back?
yeah. Nope. I think yeah, if you guys know how to time travel, let us know.
We're your friends.
Yeah, we won't experiment on you.
Not at all.
I won't take your powers from you. Yes. All right, cool guys. We're gonna end this podcast. Anything else you guys want to talk about? The
Nope,
last
that's
bit.
it.
Lynn, when are you coming back?
Well, not
Next
going,
month.
Yeah, literally
Next
next
month?
month because
Okay.
I'm going to this wedding now again. So
Nice. All right, cool. Hopefully, I can get some of my friends that I've
great.
talked to recently come on the podcast. They'll share some cool stories, so that will be cool. All right, see you guys.
Bye.
See you. Bye.